Marcia, the card isn't working. I can't check out of the hotel. Fix this now. My husband Ryan was yelling over the phone. I could hear the panic in his voice, but I didn't answer right away. He had stolen my credit card, gone on a fancy trip with his parents, and now he needed my help. I took a deep breath. I canceled the card, I said calmly. Silence. Then a gasp. He wasn't expecting this. He thought I'd keep paying for his reckless spending. But this time, things were different. This time, I was done. When I was in college, my life changed forever. My parents died in an accident, and suddenly, I was all alone. I had no one to help me, no money, and no idea how I would survive. I worked many part-time jobs just to pay for school. It was hard. I barely slept, barely ate, but I kept going. Then, a friend gave me an idea. Start a business. At first I was scared, but I had nothing to lose. Slowly, my company grew. Now, I was the vice president, earning good money. But something was missing. At 33, I started to feel lonely. All my friends were getting married, starting families. I wanted that too. That's when I met Ryan through a dating app. He was charming, funny, and kind, or so I thought. He never got mad when I had to cancel a date because of work. He made me feel special. After just 2 months, we got married. It felt fast, but I believed in love. I believed in him. But after the wedding, everything changed. The man I thought I knew was gone. The real Ryan was nothing like I imagined. One day, Ryan dropped a surprise on me. "I'm quitting my job," he said casually. "I'll be a stay-at-home husband." I was speechless. "Why didn't you ask me first?" I asked. He just shrugged. "You make enough for both of us. I'll take care of the house." At first, I wanted to believe it would work, but soon I realized he wasn't doing anything. He slept in, played video games, and did almost no housework. I was working long hours, paying for everything, while he acted like life was a vacation. My dream of a happy marriage was disappearing. One day, I checked my credit card bill and almost dropped my phone. Huge amounts of money were gone. My hands shook as I searched for my wallet. My card was missing. My heart pounded. Had someone stolen it? I called Ryan over and over until he finally answered. "Oh, that? I used it for a trip with my parents," he said like it was nothing. "You make plenty of money, so why does it matter?" My stomach twisted. He wasn't just lazy. He was using me. And he didn't even care. I tried to explain to Ryan that marriage was about trust, not just money. "Ryan, you can't just take my card without asking." He laughed. "Marcia, you work all the time. You don't even act like a wife. At least I spend time with my family." His words stung. I had worked so hard to build a better life, but now I was being blamed for it. That night, I lay awake in bed, staring at the ceiling. I knew, deep down, this marriage was a mistake. And I needed to get out before it got worse. Then something unexpected happened. I found out I was pregnant. My emotions were all over the place. Happy, scared, hopeful. Maybe this baby would change Ryan. Maybe he would finally take responsibility. I told him the news, waiting for his reaction. He barely looked up from his phone. "That's great," he said in a bored voice. That was it. No hug, no excitement, just an empty response. I felt like my heart was breaking. I had dreamed of starting a family, but it was clear now. Ryan didn't care about me, and he didn't care about our baby either. Ryan's behavior got worse. He kept asking me for money, not just for himself, but for his parents too. His mother and father believed his lies, thinking I was the bad wife forcing him to do housework. One day, they stormed into my house. "You should be taking care of Ryan, not the other way around," his mother snapped. "You're a wife. That's your job." My hands clenched into fists. I had never been so angry. I wasn't their servant. I wasn't Ryan's piggy bank. I was done being treated this way. That night, I made a decision. I was leaving. While Ryan was asleep, I gathered important papers, bank records, legal documents, everything I needed. I called a lawyer and started the divorce process. The next day, I canceled my credit card. Ryan would soon realize his free ride was over. It took 3 days for the call to come. Marcia, my card isn't working. I'm stuck in Singapore. Fix this now. His voice was full of panic. I smirked. Figure it out, Ryan, I said. Then I hung up. I felt free for the first time in years. Ryan kept calling. He begged. He got angry. He even cried. His parents called too, saying I was ruining their lives. But I didn't care. I had given him everything, and he had only taken advantage of me. When he finally got back home, broke and humiliated, he stormed into my hospital room. How could you do this to me? He yelled. His mother sobbed. We have nothing now because of you. I just sat there, silent. I had no guilt. Ryan had made his choices. Now he had to live with them. Then my best friend and business partner, Morris, stepped in. Ryan, we know everything, he said, placing documents on the table. You've been lying. You stole Marcia's money. You told your parents you were supporting her when it was the other way around. Ryan's parents looked shocked. You had a job, his father yelled. Ryan stuttered, unable to explain. His lies had finally caught up to him. Ryan's parents stared at him in shock. His father clenched his fists. You lied to us? You told us you had a job. We defended you. His mother shook her head, looking betrayed. We lost everything because of you, Ryan. Ryan stammered, trying to explain, but there was nothing he could say. His lies had caught up with him. I watched without sympathy. For years, I had been the one paying for his laziness. Now, his own family saw him for what he truly was, a selfish, manipulative liar. Finally, he was facing the consequences of his actions. After the confrontation, I knew I had to focus on my future. A few weeks later, I gave birth to a beautiful, healthy baby. Holding my child in my arms, I felt an overwhelming sense of love and responsibility. Morris, my closest friend and business partner, helped me relocate to a new apartment far from Ryan and his family. You're safe now, he said, handing me the keys. I looked around my peaceful new home, then down at my baby. Yes, I finally am. For the first time in years, I felt free, ready to start over. Months passed, and I learned what happened to Ryan and his parents. They had lost everything. His father had to take a janitorial job, something he once looked down on. His mother worked 2 jobs, one at a supermarket and another on an assembly line. And Ryan? He had no real skills and struggled as a low-wage laborer. He couldn't handle the hard work and was often fired for being lazy. The man who once mocked me for working too much was now barely surviving. I didn't feel sorry for them. They had made their choices. Now, they were paying for them. I wasn't done yet. Through my lawyer, I demanded Ryan return the money he had taken from me. He and his parents cried that they had nothing left, but I didn't believe their excuses. I had spent years working hard while he wasted my earnings. This time, I refused to back down. I won't let you take from me anymore, I told him coldly. The legal battle was long, but in the end, I got back what was mine. For the first time in my life, I stood up for myself, and I won. Sitting in my new home, I held my baby close and took a deep breath. I didn't need Ryan. I didn't need anyone who would use me and take me for granted. I had built my success on my own, and now I had a child to love and protect. My future was no longer controlled by others. I was in charge. I smiled, feeling strong and free. This was the beginning of a new life, a life where I chose my own happiness. And from that moment on, I promised myself I would never let anyone